Then there's this. Dak said, quote, "I stopped honestly listening to things Jerry Jones says to the media a long time ago. It doesn't really hold weight with me." Mina, when you see that and you hear that, you think about everything going on with the Cowboys, what do you think?
I think that it is absolutely the right approach to the things that Jerry Jones says to the media. I mean, that guy talks so much, and he is so unlike any other owner in sports. And half the things he says, I don't even know if they're we often see him contradict those things with his actions. So for Dak, I know it sounds, I don't know, maybe a little bit flip, and obviously Jerry is the owner of the team and the GM, but frankly, I think he's well within his rights to put it that way. And that was in response, by the way, to a quote where Jerry talked about Dak and what he's shown, and honestly, I felt that it came across as a little critical. But I don't blame Dak one bit for this, and I don't think it's going to impact their negotiations or lack thereof.
Yeah, see, I would disagree with that. So I think Dak is probably one of the, if not the best, when it comes to handling press conferences that we have in the NFL. Patrick certainly is up there as well. He's essentially flawless many a times, MK. Second time this year that we've had a player, I guess, comment about some of the stuff that Jerry has said, either directly or indirectly about them. CD did the LOL on Twitter. Now Dak Prescott's going, I don't really pay attention to what he says. And part of me goes, I understand what you're saying.
That's like a no comment, though, right? He's saying he doesn't pay attention to it.
At some point, everyone says never let it get emotional. At some point, it does. Like, at some point, he's a human being. This is the second time he's kind of going through this in Dallas.
I think we are on the precipice of what could be the start of one after the other insightful comments from Dak Prescott, and here's why. He is going to be an unfettered free agent who was second in MVP voting, and the last time he bet on himself, he got hurt and still got paid. He really doesn't have to care what Jerry Jones or anyone else thinks, because he's going to be paid by fill in the blank.
But does
the
that
Raiders,
not,
the Giants. So
doesn't it become personal then? Like, doesn't it become a little bit less business and more like?
Dan, we've all been in those situations where we say things just to get through a press conference. He doesn't have to do that anymore. He's still the leader of the team. All I'm saying is he could be much more authentic, and that's what I'm saying. Like, what he just said to, like, when you really think about what he just said, I think that was a little bit more authenticity than it was more of just speaking in sound bites.
Yeah, I mean, I just went back to CD. He said LOL when Jerry kind of, he came across as dismissive talking about him in the same way that I think you could interpret his comments about Dak, which is what Dak's referring to. And then, Dan, a contract got done. These guys know that Jerry, the media figure, has pretty much nothing to do with Jerry, the GM, at least based on how these things have played out with Dallas. And that's how I read this comment. Dak saying whatever, he's saying whatever he wants to say. What happens behind closed doors has absolutely nothing to do with that.
That's fair. That's fair. I just think it's the second time, and we all knew the CD deal was going to get done. Like,
that one never felt in question.
At some point it was going to get done.
Season,
this
right?
one does feel very much on question, and we know probably the main reason why it hasn't gotten done, along with Mike McCarthy's, is because of the lack of playoff success.
Yeah. But here's one thing I would say, guys. Jerry Jones comports himself in this world as, I am a billionaire, I have leverage. This is the one time, guys,
Must be nice.
He does not have leverage, because Dak Prescott can walk out the door as an unfettered free agent.
He's going to make $60 million no matter what.
Right, and he may say, you know what, I want to go try someplace new. And that's why, to me, this dynamic is so fascinating.
All right, just a quick reminder, too, of just this week. Jerry said that, hey, Dak may have to do more with less because I haven't really surrounded him with a whole lot, kind of putting some pressure on Dak there. That was earlier. Oh, yeah. You've been off a little bit, Dan, but that happened earlier this week. And then also, Dak just saying earlier in this press conference that, if the deal doesn't get done before the season, it may show how some people feel. I think that's fascinating because that timeline feels a little bit quicker than we thought.